opened her mouth to scream in terror, but he clamped his hand over her mouth, cutting off her air, and the scream rising out of her disappeared in the back of her throat. Him, shoving her away. She hit her head against the wall and stars exploded on the inside of her eyelids. Pain in the back of her head. A large throbbing bump swelled under her skin. Nothing but him and pain. And oh God, more to come. Forcing her into the bedroom, he held her in his tight grip, grinding his hips and hard arousal against her bottom, inciting even more fear. He liked her scared. She stood helplessly frozen, tried to get her mind to work, think, tell her body to flee, but her limbs didn't heed the wild thoughts in her head. Him, snatching her belt off the dresser, pushing her onto the bed. She landed on her stomach and his fingers dug into her skin, bruising. She curled up, tried to make herself as small a target as possible. The belt lashed across her back and buttocks. Her screams disregarded, her thin tank top and nylon shorts no protection against the bite of the leather whip and metal buckle. The dressing mirror smashed to the floor with a loud crack. He wielded a shard of broken glass, his lips pulled back in a feral smile. He slashed her thigh, tearing the flesh in a jagged line of searing pain. She screamed in agony. Him, sitting on her bloodied, welted back, pulling her hair and hacking at it. She tried desperately to scratch and claw at his hands over her head. Him shoving her off the bed and onto the floor with a resounding thud. Him in a mindless rage, demanding over and over again, yelling at the top of his lungs, "Say you'll come back. I'll stop. Say it. Say you'll come back." Him, whispering in her ear, his knee grinding into her spine. "You're mine. Wherever you go, I'll find you. You promised before God you'd be my obedient wife, till death do us part. Death, Jenna. Say it." The last he said with such menace. His voice became calm as a flat sea. Her whisper, softer than his gasping breath, broke into his raging mind when all her screams went unheard. Never. Fear gripped her mind and heart like a vice, making it near impossible to speak the word. "If you're not with me, you might as well be dead." Him, hitting her in the head. Blessed blackness enveloped her. How long have I been on this floor? Alone. The silence and stillness in the small cottage reassured her. She couldn't believe he found her again. God, had she really complained about the flowers left on her doorstep just to let her know he'd found her again? Or the threatening notes left in her locked car or house? The late-night phone calls and hang-ups. His showing up at unexpected times and places. Those things were scary. This was madness. The first time he slapped her, she made the biggest mistake of her life and stayed with him. Because of his pleas and pretty words, she became his prisoner until his ugly words and petty jealousies forced her to flee. Now he had turned the game into a hunt. He would find her and release her, only to hunt her again at his whim. She didn't know how he found her, but he did, again. This time she remained hidden for over 5 months, longer than their marriage lasted. All she remembered of the last 2 years, always on guard, running for her life, never truly alive or safe. And once again it came down to this. He wanted her to know no matter where she went, she belonged to him, and he could find her anywhere. Sometimes he begged her to come back, be a family with him. They'd have children. Other times he yelled and threw things. He blamed her for everything, including his hitting her. This time went beyond verbally abusing her and shoving her around. He raged. She would never be safe. One day he'd make good on his promise and kill her. He certainly came close this time. She took a moment to inventory all the aches and pains combining into the pounding throb throughout her body. A gash on her head just above her temple from the candlestick he used to knock her out. Blood dripped over the